Hey guys, Christina here, and today I have a flip through and review of this curriculum here, The Art of Argument, all about fallacies, which I recently had a child complete. This curriculum is from Classical Academic Press, which is a US-based curriculum company. This is the first time I've used anything from this company. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, give you a look at the different components, and I'll come back here and share my thoughts about it. Here's a look at the two books. So this is the teacher's book, this is the student book. So we'll start with the student one. It is just over 280 pages. It's soft cover with like a glossy finish on it. Inside the cover here, it has a list of fallacies with definitions, and it continues on the back cover here for the rest of them. This was from 2022. So as of filming, it's only 3 years old. And I don't think I mentioned, it is the revised edition. So it starts off talking about like what is logic, formal versus informal logic, and then a little bit about propaganda. Unit 1 is on relevance, so it goes over the arguments against the source, ad fontem arguments, I believe is how you say that. Then you have your appeals to emotion, red herrings. Then you go on to your presumption unit. That sounds weird when I say it, but presumption. So fallacies of presupposition, fallacies of induction. Unit 3 is clarity, so fallacies of clarity is the end there. Then they have discussion answers, Bill and Ted's Excellent Election, Love is a Fallacy, Fallacy List and Fallacy Tree, a taxonomic table of you, glossary, and bibliography. So this is kind of what the inside looks like. My son has written in here, so I don't want to show you every page. But this is kind of what it looks like. So there's some writing, there's some answering, there's lots of reading, there's little pictures, charts, things like that. Let me skip forward a bit and find one to show you. I think this is the intro, so let's just go back a bit. So straw man fallacy. So this is what kind of each fallacy looks like. There's some reading. There's some examples, and usually there's some like little artwork or advertisements that kind of help you to see what the fallacy is and to have examples. And then at the end of each review, each chapter, there is review as well. Just go through this here. So there's the glossary. This is the appendix of fallacies, the definitions. You can kind of just see what it looks like. So it is a consumable workbook that they're going to write in for that. Then let's look at the teacher one. So I have this little thing covered here, but they do have, you can download the packet online. Now, I did that, but then I was like, oh, I need to get the tests out for my son, and I cut the tests out of the book, which you do not need to do if you download that. So this book is a little bit cut up when it shouldn't necessarily be, but there you go. So you can see it's very similar. It has that list of fallacies and definitions on the front and back. If we go to the table of contents, it's very similar. It's going to follow along right with the student book. And in the back, they also have the chapter and unit tests, test answers and notes, and those same things. So all these sections that are orange on the side are teacher notes. So let's see. They're at the end of each unit. Let's have a look at this. Chapter 2. So whenever there's questions in the book, it has exactly the same page, but with the red section as the answers. So you're looking at the same book, the student's looking at, but the answers are filled in. And then it has those extra teacher pages as well. Let me give you a flip through here. Let's show you. So teacher notes are just, there's little notes like this throughout, and this is just explaining them more. So let's see if we can find it for you here. Somewhere in here. So here's C, and then that explanation that goes with it is in the back. That's what the book looks like. So there are 28 fallacies, but because you have like the intro, you have reviews, and you have this whole section in the beginning, I would plan on it taking you, definitely more than 28 weeks. I would say plan on about 32 to 35, but it depends how you break it up. Sometimes my son would do 2 of these because they were quite short. Sometimes it would be like a review that would be the whole week, was just that review. But that's what the 2 books look like that I have. When I mentioned from these 2 books, what I mean is that these are the 2 books I had, but there is actually a 3rd component to the curriculum, which is optional, and that is a 5 DVD series, which looks at each fallacy in like a teacher with a couple students discussion. I think they're just sitting around a table where he kind of explains it, does more examples, they have a discussion. I did not purchase that because it is more costly than the course itself. I did ask my son, do you think that would have helped to have that? And he said, maybe, but he felt like the course on its own was perfectly fine. I think if you have a child who is more of a visual learner, then perhaps having that DVD set would be more helpful. So I asked my son to do a pro-con list, which I have here and I'm going to go through. So he felt like it was pretty short. It wasn't a huge workload or anything like that. He felt like it was easy to understand, definitely informative, and he liked that there was just this book. There was no extra reading, no other books. He just had 1 book and that was it. In terms of what I liked about the course, I feel like it's affordable if you're looking at just the teacher and the student book. I'm in Canada and it was $91.99 for those 2 books. If you add the DVD in, that 5 set, it's another $134.99. So, it's fairly affordable. If you add the extra in, it could be a little bit more. Again, what are your priorities? If you have multiple children like me, then it makes it more affordable, obviously. So then for cons, he's felt like some of the tests were a little bit difficult. I think what he means by that is that the way the fallacies were described in the book were not exactly the same as on the test, and so there was a bit of confusion about that. He also put that he felt some fallacies were hard to tell apart. I think that just comes with being new to this and it being new material, that once you have time to learn and to use them and to dive deeper into them, you're more likely to be able to recognize them. For me, I don't feel like there were a lot of cons to this curriculum. It worked really well doing it independently for my son, but I can definitely see the value in doing this course in a group setting, like in a co-op or something. I think this would be the ideal course to do. Now, the company, Classical Academic Press, they recommend this for grades 7 to 8. Where I purchased it from, which was the Learning House here in Canada, they recommend either middle or high school. And I feel like, again, not having done the course myself, but seeing how my son reacted and reading answers, I think grades 7 to 8 is a little bit young. Unless, of course, you have a second, more in-depth course that they're going to be doing in high school where this is just the foundation, then perhaps that would work. I feel like grade 10 was maybe a little bit late. So for me, that sweet point would be, I would say grade 9 would be a good time to use this course. I feel like they can retain enough information, and then it also gives them time to really put it into their higher thinking classes through high school. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I love that they have the online component where you can, print things and not have to take your book apart, but you just have to remember to use it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like it's a very worthwhile course, particularly in today's day and age, where you want children to know what fallacies are out there when there's so much propaganda, rhetoric, decisiveness. It really helps kids to understand arguments and to see the fallacies within them. So I feel it's highly worthwhile. I'm definitely going to have my younger children do this course. I'm quite happy with it. and yeah, we will use it again. Whenever I'm editing these videos back, I always think, oh, I forgot to mention that, or I forgot to mention this. So if you have questions, if I didn't cover something, please feel free to ask below and I will answer them for you. Otherwise, I hope this video finds you having a great day. Take care.